Hey everybody, this is Leslie and you're watching Midlife and Nailing It. Today I am so excited because I'm participating in a hop and we're supposed to be doing 30-minute healthy dinners. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so you do want to set your oven to 375. So let's go ahead and do that. We want it to be preheated. Trying to get this done in 30 minutes, so we want to do that very first. We don't want to be waiting for an oven if we're trying to get a meal done in 30 minutes, right? So I want to go ahead and dice up these jalapenos. Okay guys, so I've got my jalapenos all diced up. I did take out the seeds and membranes. I'm sure you all know if you leave those in, they're super spicy. If you take them out, they're just kind of spicy. If you don't like jalapenos, you don't have to add them to this dish, and as we go on, you're going to see that you can kind of use what you have on hand or get whatever you like to make this dish. It's kind of easy to dupe out whatever you want to, or dupe in, or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my pan on here, a medium heat. Don't judge my pan, guys. If you've seen other videos of mine, you know that I bought the Rachel Ray set, and I'm not super impressed. It's maybe been a year and a half that I bought this pan set, and it's the worst pan set I've ever owned. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the smallest amount of olive oil in there. Make sure that it coats my whole pan. Then I went ahead and added 2 pounds of ground turkey. You can use just 1 pound here. Last week when I threw this together, I just added 1 pound of turkey. I'm doing 2 because I try to minimize my cooking through my work week. So if I make a double batch of this, I can use half of it tomorrow or the next day in a salad or something like that. And I would still use the same measurements that I'm adding to the 1 pound that I am the 2. The 2 is just bulking it up a little bit more, but I'm going to use the same amount that I used. I'm going to go ahead and get my jalapeno on here, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm just going to use my handy dandy meat masher here. Usually my meat masher when I'm cooking is Randy, but he's not here right now. I'm going to go ahead and get this all, mashed up just like taco meat. I will show you what that looks like in a moment. I'm holding my camera and trying to do this, and my pan's wanting to move around. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put my camera down, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's cooked up. Okay, so we're still cooking up here, and I'm adding some everything but the ayote Trader Joe's seasoning. You can use whatever seasoning you'd like here. You can throw in garlic, you can throw in chili powder, you can throw in cumin. If you have taco seasoning, you could throw that in. I'm just using everything but the ayote. I think last week when I made this, I used something different. It's kind of versatile. It's like whatever you're in the mood for. Oh, I remember what I used last week. It was a fajita seasoning that I had on hand, a chicken fajita seasoning. I think it was the Walmart brand, and it was delicious. So this is the part where you can get creative and use whatever you have on hand or whatever you want to pick up from the store. I really make the same kind of taco meat any given meal. Last week I had some pico de gallo on hand that was about to go bad, so I picked some up the store. I just added it in, and then I went ahead and grabbed a can of corn that I drained. I'm going to add that in. And I'm going to go ahead, this is a can of black beans that I rinsed and drained. I'm going to add that right into the mix. If I didn't have the pico on hand, I would just throw in some Rotel. I always have this in my pantry so I can just grab it. It adds great flavor to so many things. It's a good thing to have on hand. Or you could even add just some diced tomatoes and do some onion, or if you have cilantro, you just make it your own. So let me go ahead and stir this up, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I went ahead and mixed it all up. I did add a little bit more of the everything but the ayote seasoning, and then I sprinkled in a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. We like things spicy. If you don't do that. Problem solved. My filling is done. It does need to cook down a bit, but this filling is finished. So what I'm going to show you now is this new thing that I tried last week that I could not believe how happy I was with the results. And it's cooking tortilla shells in the oven right on the rack without any oil or anything like that. So let me go ahead and get that ready and I'll show you what that looks like. So last week I did use a different brand and I can't even remember which one I used. And it was more of a low carb shell. This week I'm going to try it with the wheat. If it doesn't turn out, I'll be honest with you guys. But we're going to go ahead and try it. It should turn out. So remember I preheated my oven at 375. I'm going to pull some shells out. Okay guys, and don't judge my oven. I know I need to clean it. We all always need to clean our oven, don't we? And it's like you clean it within a week, you need to clean it again. So I'm just grabbing my tortilla shell. So what I did is I'm draping my tortilla shells over my rack, and I'm draping it over 2, not 1. I think that might close up too much for you. But of course you can try whatever you'd like in your kitchen. So I'm just draping it over the 2, and I'm being very careful here. Ooh, that one's not as even as the other ones. There we go. And I'm trying to do that evenly. You just want to make sure, you know, you got a little shell. I don't know how pretty they'll be, but they're in. So then you go ahead and let that cook 8 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, guys, I went ahead and gave my meat mixture another stir, and then I'm going to head over here, and I'm going to go ahead and slice up some avocado and get some lime juice on my avocado. I was wanting to show you guys this. I'm going to try to show you without digging out my tripod and using one hand. Let's see if I can make that happen. Okay guys, so what you want to do, it was kind of tricky with me holding the camera trying to do this, is you just use your knife and you go right in the middle until you hit the pit. And then you're going to kind of like go around the whole avocado. I'm going to finish doing that and then pop it open and show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay guys, so when you slice them open, this is what it looks like. And then what you can do is take your knife and you kind of like hit it in the middle there, and then it pulls right out. Or you can kind of pry it out this way. It pops out pretty easily. Let me go ahead and get my knife in there and I'll show you that. Okay, I had to hit my knife in there. See, it comes right out. So let me go ahead and do that with my other one and I'll be right back. So next what you want to do, guys, is you want to hold your avocado in your hand like this, and you want to slice slices. Don't push too awfully hard, but it automatically stops at the skin. Just be careful, especially if it's your first time, and then you'll have the feel of it for the next time. So I'm gonna go ahead, I sliced this one. Can you guys see my slices? So yeah, I sliced that one. I'm gonna go ahead and slice these other ones, and then I'll show you the next step. So then you just use the spoon to scoop this out of its shell. If you've ever cut up a cantaloupe, it just kind of comes out easily. Okay, see how I slid my spoon in there? It just naturally stops at the skin. So let me go ahead and set my camera down and get the rest of this out. I promise you can do this. I promise. You should try it. Next, all I did is cut my lime in half, and I'm just gonna squeeze it all over my avocado, and then I'll get a spoon out and kind of flip it around in the lime juice. This gives the dish that I'm making a ton of flavor. Lime always goes well in Mexican food, and then it also keeps your avocado from browning. Okay guys, if you do wheat like I did, you probably want to keep it around the 8 minutes. Might want to start checking it at the 8 minutes. These went for about 10, and I'm just kind of using my tongs here. Might have to get in there with my fingers. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these out, and I'll show you what they look like. So I've got my wheat shells back here. You could use whatever tortilla shells you'd like. I think I liked the way the low carb shells that I had, I think they were called Carb Balance, and I can't remember the brand. I like the way they turned out a little better, but I think these will be just fine. The wheat tended to brown up faster. And then this is my meat mixture with the jalapeno and ground turkey, and then the everything but the ayote seasoning and a little bit of red pepper flakes. And then I added a can of corn that was drained and a can of black beans that was drained and rinsed. And I also added the pico de gallo. But again, you can use whatever the heck you want or have on hand. I came up with this recipe last week on a whim, just with things that we had on hand. I went ahead and sliced up some avocado and I dressed it with some lime juice so it didn't brown, and also lime and Mexican food goes together like peanut butter and jelly. It just does. It's so good. So those are ready to put on our tacos. Back here, I went ahead and grabbed some Greek yogurt. You guys, I have been using Greek yogurt now in place of sour cream for quite a while, and I do not miss sour cream at all. I am completely happy with substituting it with the Greek yogurt. So that's just a little tip for you if you're trying to cut back in any way. And then I've got some Cholula out here and just some table salsa for anyone that wants it. I probably won't use the salsa, but I'll be using everything else that I showed you. So I'm going to go ahead and plate this up and show you what that looks like. And then I'll also show you a picture of the ones that I made last week, so you can compare the two shells and what they look like. Okay guys, real quick, this is a photo of the tacos that I made last week that I used the low carb shell instead of the wheat. I wanted to show that to you real quick. And then I do want to mention, since this is a hop video, when you're through watching my video, make sure you go down in my description box below and click on the next person you need to hop to. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and see what the tacos from today look like plated up. Okay guys, so this is what my healthy Tex-Mex taco looks like plated up. So I've had an incredibly busy day. 30 minutes is all I had to give to make this up. It is gonna be so good, you guys. I already know because I had one last week and it was killer. So I hope that this video inspires you to kind of think outside of the box when you're making Tex-Mex, and know that you can still have something Tex-Mex without giving up any flavor at all. You're just replacing some of the not healthier choices with some good ones. The technique with the shells is definitely going to be one that I use forevermore. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.